The night was quiet except for the faint hum of city lights and the echo of footsteps against marble floors. Inside the grand corporate tower of Vanguard Industries, a single light flickered near the lobby, not from a bulb, but from a tiny flashlight. Daniel Ross, the CEO of Vanguard, watched silently from the corner of the hallway. Dressed in old jeans, a cap pulled low, and a maintenance badge that said, Dan R., he had been undercover for 3 days, trying to understand his company from the inside out. Tonight, something caught his attention. A young man, maybe in his mid-20s, sitting on a folding chair, head bowed over an open notebook, pencil scratching fast. Daniel waited, curious. The guard didn't see him. The boy's flashlight trembled slightly as he turned the page, his lips whispering words. It wasn't a phone. It wasn't a game. He was studying. Hey, Daniel said softly, walking closer. You studying or solving the mysteries of the universe? The guard jumped, almost dropping his light. Oh, sir, just reading. His name tag said Carlos Vega. Daniel smiled. Reading, huh, at midnight, in a lobby. Carlos looked embarrassed. It's the only quiet place I can focus. I have exams in 2 weeks. Trying to finish my degree in mechanical engineering. Daniel nodded, pretending to adjust a nearby outlet. Engineering, impressive. And you work nights? Carlos nodded. Yeah, my mom's been sick, so I take the night shift. It pays a bit more. I nap during the day between classes. It's hard, but, he smiled faintly, I'll get there. Something about his tone made Daniel pause. That kind of quiet determination, it was rare. You ever think of quitting? Every night, Carlos laughed softly. But I promised my mom I'd finish school. She says the world breaks people who stop trying. Daniel smiled at the words. He hadn't heard something that pure in a long time. Over the next few nights, Daniel found excuses to pass by the lobby, cleaning floors, fixing vents, carrying boxes. Each time, Carlos was there, either reading notes, solving equations, or writing letters. They started talking more. One night, Daniel brought 2 cups of coffee. You look like you need this, he said. Carlos chuckled. You too, man. You always around at weird hours. Maintenance never sleeps. Guess not, Daniel said, taking a sip. So what's the dream, Carlos? The young man hesitated. To build something that helps people. Machines that make life easier. My father used to say real men leave the world better than they found it. He died fixing a faulty lift in an old factory. I want to design safer ones someday. Daniel's throat tightened. His own father had died in a construction accident years ago. He remembered being angry, not at fate, but at the system. That memory had fueled him to build Vanguard from scratch. Days turned into a week. Then came Friday, the night everything changed. Daniel came down earlier than usual. The rain was pounding outside, and thunder rattled the glass doors. As he entered the lobby, he saw Carlos on the phone, pacing, tears in his eyes. No, Mama, don't worry. I'll figure it out, please don't cry. Daniel froze. When the call ended, Carlos wiped his face quickly. Hey, Daniel said gently. Bad news. Carlos nodded, trying to smile. Hospital called. My mom's medicine isn't covered this month. They said I owe $3,000. I don't have it. Daniel felt something heavy sink inside him. Can't the company help? Insurance or something? Carlos laughed sadly. I'm just contract security. Outsourced. No benefits. That night, Daniel went home and couldn't sleep. He kept seeing the boy's face, exhausted, desperate, but still hopeful. The next morning, he made a decision. 3 days later, the building buzzed with tension. Vanguard's real CEO, Daniel Ross, was scheduled to visit. The staff lined up in suits. Security stood tall by the doors. And Carlos, tired, nervous, adjusted his cap. He'd never met the CEO, but he'd heard stories. Cold, demanding, the kind of man who could fire you with a single glance. Then, the elevator doors opened. The CEO stepped out. The entire lobby went silent. But when Carlos looked up, his jaw dropped. It was Dan, the maintenance guy. Mr. Ross, he stammered. Daniel smiled warmly. Morning, Carlos. Everyone stared in shock. The young guard went pale. You're the CEO. Daniel nodded. I told you I like to see things from the ground up. He turned to the crowd. Everyone, this is Carlos Vega. He works harder at night than most of us do all day. He studies to become an engineer, not for fame, but for family. Murmurs rippled across the hall. Carlos stood frozen, unsure if he should salute or run. Daniel continued, a company that overlooks people like him doesn't deserve success. Starting today, we're changing that. He handed Carlos an envelope. Inside was a check. Carlos looked up, trembling. Sir, what is this? Your mother's hospital bill. Covered, Daniel said, and something else, a full scholarship to finish your degree. When you graduate, there'll be a desk waiting for you here. Not as security, as an engineer. Carlos's eyes filled with tears. Sir, I don't know what to say. Daniel smiled. Say you'll keep building. That's enough. The lobby erupted in applause. Even the other guards clapped, some wiping their eyes. But that wasn't the end. Months later, Carlos stood on a stage at the university graduation ceremony. His mother, frail but smiling, sat in the front row, clutching a bouquet. When his name was called, the audience stood. Cameras flashed, and right in the middle of the crowd, Daniel Ross stood quietly, hands in his pockets, a proud smile on his face. After the ceremony, Carlos ran to him. Sir, you came. Daniel shook his hand firmly. Told you I'd be here. Carlos's mother approached slowly, her eyes glistening. Mr. Ross, thank you for saving my son. Daniel shook his head. No, ma'am, your son saved me. He reminded me what this company, what life, is supposed to be about. Years passed. Carlos became the lead engineer at Vanguard, designing safety systems that saved countless lives. Whenever people asked how he got there, he always smiled and said, because one man looked past my uniform, and saw my potential. And somewhere, every night, when the lights of Vanguard Tower flickered, Daniel Ross would walk through the lobby, still remembering that first night, that small flashlight in the dark, and the young man who changed everything.